In this video, I'm going to work through the class standing example, which is in the representing data PowerPoint file. The first instruction says use Statcrunch to open the file CO2 SO2 EO7.txt. I will email this file to you. I've also posted it on the wiki. To open the file, I need to go to Statcrunch and log in. When I get to the home page, I have to open Statcrunch, and occasionally you'll see a pop-up window appear which says, do you want to run this Java applet? It is a Java applet. If I click on data, I'm going to load the data after I have downloaded it from the wiki or from the email. I'm going to load the data from the file. The file is on my computer, and I need to browse to find it. This opened up directly to the folder which has my file. You may need to click a little bit to find it, wherever you placed it on the desktop or in a folder. Double click on the file and it loads it into the file space. Go down to the bottom of the page and load file. Notice that this file is a summary of the results in this data set. The data set itself would have a list of all of the students. Freshman, sophomore, junior, just lots and lots of students. This is a summary. It's actually a frequency table. There's 124 freshmen, 183 sophomores, and so forth. The first task on the PowerPoint file says construct a relative frequency distribution for these data. A relative frequency distribution is the frequency divided by the total number of cases. Essentially, it's a percentage of students in each category. To construct a relative frequency table, I need the total number of cases. To do that, I'm going to allow Statcrunch. You could do it with a calculator. It's fairly simple in this case, but just to show you one of the tools of Statcrunch, we go to Stat and Summary Statistics, which are statistics calculated on numerical values in a column. So I'm going to use summary statistics on a column. I'm going to click on the column. Its frequency is a column I want to analyze. Now, summary statistics gives you a variety of things: means, medians, standard deviations, and so forth. What I'm interested in is the sum of the numbers in the frequency column. So I'm going to go to Next. And the highlighted values are the things that will be calculated for these data. So I want to select Sum as well. Then all I have to do is click Calculate, and the column statistics calculate all of the statistics for these numbers. Notice the sum is over here at the far right hand side, 497. Alright, so we remember the number 497. Now, to construct a relative frequency column, I need to go to Data, and I'm going to compute an expression. The expression I want to compute are the numbers in the frequency column divided by the total, and that total was 497. Compute, and what this message says is that it's created a new column, a column of the frequencies divided by 497. So what we've constructed here is the answer to part A, a relative frequency table. There are 24.949% freshmen, 36.82% sophomores in our data set, and so forth. All right, going back to the PowerPoint, task B says use Statcrunch to construct a relative frequency, a frequency bar graph and a relative frequency bar graph for these data. Open up Statcrunch again. All visualizations are under the graphics icon. So if I just click on graphics, I have a variety of options. I want to construct a a bar plot or bar graph, and you notice you see the options with data or with summary. If I have the individual data values, essentially the class standing of each student, I would pick with data. I have the summary, so I'm going to pick with summary. Now, you have to tell Statcrunch where the categories and columns are. In this case, the categories are the classes. The counts, which are the number in each category, are in frequency. I'm going to pick next. This is a bar plot, and it gives me the option of picking either a bar plot or a relative frequency bar plot. So let's start off with just frequency, and we can create graph, and there it is. Now, if I would like to paste that into a Word document, it's very easy. I just go to Options, Copy, and then I can open up Word and select Paste, and there my visual, my bar graph is pasted into my document. I can then click on it and resize it if I want to, move it wherever I want to, and so forth. I'm going to click page up, excuse me, and there. Now I've given myself some space to put other graphs in. I can go down here and click Return, and my next graph will go below this. Now let's go back to the PowerPoint. The PowerPoint said construct a frequency bar graph and a relative frequency bar graph. Going back to the bar plot, the original bar plot, they call it a bar plot as opposed to a bar graph. If I select Options, remember, if I want to change any options, I can click Edit. Now remember, another option was relative frequency. We can then just click Create Graph, and now this has become a relative frequency graph. Again, let's go to Options, Copy, and paste it into our Word document. Now, notice that these two graphs, in terms of the picture themselves, they look virtually identical. The difference is, with the frequency, it gives a total number of counts in each category. So, in terms of freshmen, there are 100-ish, a little over 100, between 100 and 150. It's not exact. The relative frequency table gives you the percentage. This says that there are between 20 or 0.2 and 30% freshmen in our data set. Okay, returning to the PowerPoint file, Task C says use Statcrunch to construct a pie chart for these data. Let's open up Statcrunch again. All visual tools are under Graphics. Click on Graphics. We want to construct a pie chart. Again, we don't have the data, but we have a summary of the data, so select with summary. Just as you did with the bar plot, you want to pick the categories and the counts where the numbers are. So our categories again are in class. Our counts are under the frequency column. And then let's create the graph. And here is the graph, the bar plot, or excuse me, the pie chart. Notice it has basically the sections. The sections are labeled. It also has a legend over here which gives not only the category and the count, but it gives the relative frequency or the percentage that are in each of the categories. The last section, the last question on the PowerPoint says interpret any of the above graphs. So what can you control? Any conclusions about enrollment trends in this school? I'm going to pick one of the graphs, and let's pick the pie chart. Now obviously this is speculative, but it seems to me that there are unusual numbers of students in the various categories. There's approximately the same number of freshmen and juniors. There's a large number of sophomores, but there's a fairly small number of seniors, 61 seniors. I would think it would be unusual in a school to have a class that is that small. When interpreting a graph like this, you want to identify the largest category. So the largest number of students are sophomores, 36.82%. The least frequent category are seniors, only 12.27%, or 61 of the students are seniors. And any other, it says identify trends. I'm going to make a conjecture. I think that when I created this graph, I was thinking of the local school Cooper, which for a time opened up, but added students as students as the years went by. For a new school, perhaps the school was only open for 3 years, so a few seniors have transferred in, but they primarily remained with their school. The junior class would be the first class that may have gone through Cooper in our case, but in this school. This is purely conjecture as well. So that is how you use Statcrunch to construct bar charts and relative frequency distributions, work with data, and pie charts.